How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today, we're going to be starting a short series of videos of things that stood out to us at the RV SuperShow in Tampa. So we have some interesting things to take a look at. We have some new RVs that just hit the market, brand new floor plans. We have some RV gear that's interesting, that kind of stands out. And so we're going to be going over a few of these things that stand out. I know that not everybody can make it to the show this year, so I wanted to be able to share what we saw and what stood out to us with everybody out there. So in this video, we're going to start off by looking at the new RV. It was teased just a few days ago. The new RV by Keystone, which is Arcadia. They had a couple of different floor plans at this RV show. They said that they started the new design for this fifth wheel with basically a blank slate. So they wanted to start from the suspension to the chassis to the living area inside. They wanted to redesign it and rethink how they were doing things. So starting off looking at this RV, we can see that it has a new, somewhat unique shape to a fifth wheel, with that front cap being a little bit different. So let's dive into what's different about this RV and why they redesigned it the way that they did. I had a chance to get a tour from the CEO and president of Keystone to show me what was new about this RV. So first off, they started off with a new chassis. They're calling it the NGC2 chassis. So if you combine that with their hyper deck that they have, it creates a crawl space inside of the frame of the RV, so that there's an open space. It's called a crawl space. It's an open space in there where they can run their ductwork and their water lines and their electrical. And so that makes a change in the way that construction happens in the RV. So this is the first thing that we can see, that they said they wanted to design the outside to look automotive and they wanted the interior to be residential. So this is the first lean towards residential, where residential homes will have a crawl space, that open space where you can run your infrastructure and be able to do your ducting. And so that was the same idea here. So inside of that cavity, that crawl space, they insulated it on the bottom of the floor, the I-beams, and the bottom of that structure. So that creates an insulated channel in there so that they can run those different water lines and heating and cooling, which for the end user should make things more comfortable and better inside of the RV. They're going to be using less flex and more of a residential type of ductwork in throughout this RV. The next change we see in construction is to the upper deck in the fifth wheel. They brought in the Rhino frame, which might be the first time that it's been brought into a mid-profile fifth wheel. That changes the front of the fifth wheel. Not only does it give it a new line that's a little bit different than everybody else, but it adds some function to that also.
And you'll notice that we changed the cap design significantly. Yep. So this is still a mid-profile or a mid-stance unit. We took the front, the farthest point out on the coach, and instead of having it down lower in the bottom, quarter, we moved it all the way up to the top.
Okay.
So that helped us with getting more max turn out of this. It also helped with the way the closet's laid out. So these will be the first mid-profiles out there where you can do separated washer dryer or you can do stackable.
Now this is the first run on these fifth wheels, and there's going to be a few things that change when they hit production. So looking at the suspension and stuff that was under there, I hear they're going to be going with Kurt and not what we saw at the show.
These, again, being the concept pieces, don't have it yet. We will run Kurt suspension, Kurt axles, Kurt steps. It will be a Kurt front hitch pin suspension as well.
Okay, a quick correction in the video as I was editing. I saw that these numbers for the weights definitely don't seem like they're adding up to me, so I wanted to give you the accurate information because the prices are accurate. So on the 3660 RL that at the show was $47,999. The UVW weight was 11,400, but the gross vehicle weight rating comes in around 13,500. But for the other RV, the smaller one, they're calling them 3/4 ton and half ton. I would call it a 3/4 ton and a 1 ton. So the smaller of the two, the 3250 RL, is 39,999. And the weights on the side, the UVW was 9,140, and the gross vehicle weight rating was 13,780. So those weights definitely aren't quite adding up to me for what the production will be, but those prices were correct at the show. So I just wanted to give you a ballpark of what I saw there. Let's get back to it. But that being said, the capabilities of this RV are looking impressive. It's looking like they're gonna have about 112 gallons of fresh water storage. So when you go out boondocking, you're gonna have a decent amount of water that you can have in those tanks to take out with you. Then they also have plans for solar packages, lithium options if you would like. And so looking at those, possibly having an inverter installed and having some of those outlets live based off of that could be a good addition. So depending on exactly what that comes out to, is it a Victron? What kind of battery system are we looking at? There's some real possibilities to having this very usable for boondocking from day one. Now, looking at the storage areas from the outside before we move into the interior, we see that they tried to go for more of that automotive finish. They want it to look more like a trunk, so we don't see any ductwork, any wires, anything like that in that area. It's very well finished, like you would expect a trunk to be of a car. And they also designed it to be able to have the same width doors on both ends. So the convenience center for being able to connect up your water, and they moved that to the side so that you can have a door of equal size on both sides and have that pass through unobstructed. So, and they put some tie downs in there so that way if you have some things sliding around, you can actually ratchet it down and tie it down inside the storage. Now, moving to the interior, they wanted to have that residential feel on the inside, and this has been becoming more and more popular. People have been painting and redecorating the inside of their RVs, and so it looks like they took a page out of that book and they matched some of that decor on the inside to make it feel more residential, including the furniture. The smaller of these two units had even a sectional sofa in there.
Changes into a king bed. It will have power footrest right here. We'll do an ottoman option. In full production, this will actually be about 4 inches longer. Okay. This is the first of its kind sofa, so we had it built on existing parts and pieces, so it'll evolve a little bit.
Now, I know the inside of the RV can be very subjective depending on what you would like, but I personally like the brighter interiors of the RV. I think it makes them feel a little bit bigger. So I liked the interior of this RV, seeing more of the white and the brightness of the inside. I'm looking forward to see what you guys think about this RV. We saw these 2 floor plans here. We had a hint of a third one, but there should be 5 floor plans by, I think, March, somewhere around in that time. So I was dying to try and see inside the structure of things. I was trying to peek everywhere I could. I really wanted to see that crawl space or that cavity that was in there where they were able to run the ductwork and the plumbing. But let me know what you think. How did they do? They were going for that automotive finish look on the outside. They were going for the residential feel on the inside. They had some construction changes. It's a new shape on the outside of the RV. And yeah, I'd be interested. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of this RV. So I think that's gonna do it for today. I can't wait to show you more things that came from the RV Super Show. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you wanna see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. And if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video.